And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Tyler Durden, who's fresh off his stint at the Fight Club, who writes in, after WandaVision finished, I started to think about what other releases Marvel has this year, and I realized that they literally have 10 releases in 2021 alone with Disney Plus shows and movies. I love Marvel with all my heart, and I know I will watch anything they put out, but what about the normal audience? Do you think Marvel fatigue will hit, or are they just too good and beloved at this point for that to happen anytime soon? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, WandaVision's now done, and we know Falcon and Winter Soldier's coming up imminently, but it's not just Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's not just Black Widow after that, and it's not just Loki after that. When you count WandaVision, Marvel is scheduled right now to have 10 IPs come out this year alone. Rob, I still remember a day. I still remember doing an episode of Movie Talk with John Schnepp, and we realized that when you took into account a Fox X-Men movie, a DC movie was coming out, and like 2 Marvel movies, we were like, oh my God, there's like 5 comic book movies coming out this year. Holy crap. Like when you considered we just lost our minds. We're talking in 1 year, 10 things just from one studio. Let's go and take a look at this. First of all, we got just for Marvel's movie lineups. Let's look at this. Just Marvel movies alone. They have Black Widow coming May 7th. We have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming on, I believe that's July 9th. That's coming. Let's see if I can get this a little bit wider. There we go. On July 9th. We've got Eternals coming on November 5th, 2021. And then we've got Spider-Man No Way Home coming on December 17th. That's just the theatrical movies. When we go over to Disney Plus, now, of course, we just finished WandaVision, which was January. We've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming March 19th. Then we've got Loki on June 11th. Then the What If series. I don't really count the What If series, but it is a Marvel thing, and so it's there. It's going to be cute, but that's coming out in the summer of 2021. Then the more nebulously dated Hawkeye is coming out sometime in 2021, and Ms. Marvel is supposed to come out sometime in 2021. Now, listen, any of these could move. You know, these things could get moved sometime into 2022, maybe. But for our purposes right now, Rob, let's just stick on the assumption that this is what we've got right now, that they are going to stick to this, and this is what we have. 10 properties. 10 properties. Now, I am the one who is always saying, I've heard people talking about comic book movie fatigue is going to set in every year for the last 8 years. And every year for the last 8 years, those have been wrong. But I got to say, if there ever was going to be comic book content fatigue, this could be the year to do it. And it's not done just because of Marvel. Because on top of Marvel, you've got all the CW stuff. You've got all of the DC stuff that's going to be included in that and what have you. I mean, there's other television stuff as well. There's going to be a glut of comic book content this year, but let's specifically talk about Marvel. Marvel never originally intended to have 10 IPs come out in the same year, but that's COVID, and we knew this was going to happen. We talked about this in mid-2020, that we're going to see in 2021 a whole logjam of things. That's what they're moving. Now, Rob, I still stick with the whole idea that people don't get fatigued of entertainment from the abundance of it. They get fatigued at entertainment when the quality starts to slip, or they stop being fresh, or they stop finding ways to innovate and be different. If WandaVision is any indication, Marvel's just getting started on keeping things fresh and being innovative and mixing up their genre and things like that. I think DC has some very intriguing things on the horizon, depending on which rumors you believe about the Flash movie and things like that. I think there's some very interesting things coming down the pipe from DC. I know Sony is doing some different things. I personally loved Venom. I can't wait to see Morbius. I'm very excited about Venom 2, even when it does eventually move. So I guess the answer is, Rob, could people get fatigued on so much MCU in 1 year? Maybe. But the deciding factor isn't going to be how much there is. The deciding factor is going to be, can Kevin Feige and his team continue to come up with ways to mix it up, keep it fresh, keep it feeling unique and different every time out, telling compelling stories, giving us compelling characters. If they can keep that up, then we can watch this all day. We can watch it all day. I mean, Rob, I probably in a given year, I probably watch 40 or more UFC events every year. I don't get tired of it because it's always entertaining, engaging, and I always love watching it. If Marvel can do that, it'll be fine. But even I have to admit, that seems like a really big number. Rob, as you review all these numbers and all these programmings coming out, number one, what are the ones that are standing out to you the most? But do you think Marvel has put itself in a little bit of a position where people could develop MCU fatigue? How do you see it?
Well, I think it's a really good question. And ultimately, I know I can only go by my own experience as a comic book reader. I, for decades, immersed myself in the Marvel universe via comic books. And I loved it. You know, it got to the point after like 30 years, I admit I got a little tired of superhero stories because I'd read a lot. But it took 30 years. And the one thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think we'll get a much better idea of it, is that if they give us shows like WandaVision and then go on and give us a Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Winter Soldier feels a lot different than WandaVision does. Sure, it's ultimately about superheroes and Avengers and the MCU, but it's like, you know, you can watch cop shows and lawyer shows on TV and not get tired of them. They have a built-in sort of appeal because of the kinds of stories that they're telling. I think, and WandaVision proved that we're getting totally A-list produced programming, lush, rich programming that would be at home on the big screen. And if Marvel continues that level of quality and continues the level of engagement they seem to be getting from their universe, I mean, I just look, John, at their film slate. You go from Black Widow to Shang-Chi to the Eternals to Spider-Man 3. And to me, I know that Eternals, based on Kirby's work, original work, knowing it takes place, it spans over 1,000 years, is very different from what I expect to be a badass kung fu movie in martial arts film in Shang-Chi. Then we're going to get more of the political thriller action adventure out of Black Widow. And then we bring it on home to Spider-Man. Even though those are all superheroic characters, the feel of these movies could be very different.
Yes.
I mean, having Chloe Zhao, who might win the Oscar for Nomadland as a director, and Nomadland winning, just to what that movie's even about, to know that Feige had the foresight to tap her based on her pitch to come in and do a movie like Eternals makes me really excited that once again, Feige's looking out of the box to find new and interesting talents to come in and bring this stuff to life. The fact that they hired Moorhead and oh God, why am I drawing a blank on his last name? The guys that made Endless and Spring and Synchronic to do Moon Knight. I'm like, wow, you know, we're getting a cinematic a universe that's a complete, utter franchise owned by Disney. But if the creative juices can be continually pumped into those franchises by thinking out of the box, by getting creators you don't normally expect to come in and do this, and then you have the fact that it's a collective, cohesive universe, well, that could be unique in the annals of entertainment history. And so far, I'm there for it, man. And I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier will point the direction. We're getting an animated series from them in What If this summer. And John, Moon Knight. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm fired up, man. Fired up.
Let me ask you this. Fired up as you are. We know Eternals, we know Moon Knight, but as you look down this list, and I'm looking at here again, we'll put WandaVision aside because it's done. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way From Home. Which of these ones are really piquing your interest right now? I know Eternals, but which ones of those remaining ones are really piquing your interest right now?
Well, look, I've always thought that Black Widow looks good, but dude, I love Doug Mensch and Paul Gulacy's Shang-Chi comics.
Right.
And I thought they were a great creative team in the 70s. You know, they got the omnibus stuff out, so you can check out that stuff. My man, Tony Leung, one of my favorite actors, a Chinese actor that's appeared in everything from Lust, Caution to John Woo's Hard Boiled. They got him playing, I guess he's playing the Mandarin. Hurt me. That's all I needed to hear, man. I'm in. And Simu Liu, obviously, again, a casting choice coming in from Kim's Convenience. Kevin, I mean, he played a bit role in The Expanse. Kevin Feige saw something in him there. They've been casting the Marvel movies impeccably well. And I am really excited to see a new actor, a breakout actor. I'm expecting a lot from his performance. And so Shang-Chi, man, I'm here for it. I'm excited for it. It's something I didn't think I would see happen. And it's bracketed by Black Widow and the Eternals. I mean, what's not to love?
It is crazy to think about, Rob. All this stuff that we were just looking at is all this year. This year
it's
alone.
Crazy, dude.
It is absolutely bonkers.
And then what about Loki with the Time Variance Authority? I'm like, are you kidding me? You know what, John? I can't help but think about the late, great John Schnepp.
Oh, God.
I mean, even he would have been blown away by the latter half of 2021.
Oh, I
mean,
know.
can you imagine how excited he would have been by all this?
Dude, you know, there oftentimes when news like stuff like this comes about, our first thoughts is usually, how much Schnepp would have loved this. He would have just lost his damn mind for stuff like this.
He would not have believed they finally got around to making a Shang-Chi movie.
No.
He would have been like,
or Eternals.
Eternals,
like,
especially, yeah.
It's just so bonkers when you really think about it. And again, we are all very short-sighted people. But just think back, not 20 years ago, just think back 5 years ago.
Dude.
And trying to say, in 2021, we're going to have 10 MCU things, not 10 combined Fox, Sony, Disney, Warner Brothers. No. 10 MCU things alone, plus all the other stuff. Plus all the other stuff coming from these other studios, too.
You know who's not short-sighted, John?
Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige, Louis Esposito, and Victoria Alonso. Yep. They're sitting on top of their little Disney mountain over there, just like,
yeah, look at this. So we got, and again, I know I said a few times, let's not lose sight. Sony's got some exciting stuff coming.
Yeah.
DC and Warner Brothers has got some exciting stuff coming. This is all on top of it, but whew.
But think about it. If you include Sony, you've got Spider-Man, Morbius, and Venom, There Will Be Carnage as well, which are Marvel adjacent.
Yeah.
so and then you got Love and Thunder is shooting, Doctor Strange is shooting. You know,
a lot of stuff coming for the following years as well.
The Hawkeye thing. I mean, She-Hulk, bruh.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot. They are not slowing down. By the way, iconic reactions and Kevin Feige send in super chat badges in the live chat. Thank you for that, guys. Question is for you. It's an impressive lineup, yes, but what do you think about the overall question? Is there too much of a good thing? Like, could we be getting so much Marvel content this year that are we just going to peter out from it? Are we going to get that Marvel fatigue? I think as long as they keep the quality high, we'll still be on board, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think about this? Jump into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. Okay, guys.